Yo guys, what's going on? I'm Tim, he's Justin. This is a Cash Killing AC Sports Report. In the first 3 games of the NFL playoffs this year were not necessarily close, greatly fought games. The fourth one was a little bit different. After we saw an afternoon game where the Falcons only scored 2 points, we saw... I've been critical of Tim Tebow. I'm not a Tim Tebow hater. I like the guy. It's impossible not to kind of like how the guy is. But the hype is just annoyed the hell out of me. Let me go through this game and I'll get to you, or me and Justin will get to what we thought about Tim Tebow. First quarter, Sean Sweetum hits a 45-yard field goal. Second play of the second time they get the ball, he hits a 38-yard field goal. In the second quarter, Eddie Royal catches a 30-yard pass from Tebow. Incredible catch. That's a touchdown. Then Tebow runs it in for an 8-yard touchdown. And then they added on 2 field goals. So at halftime, Denver had jumped out to a 20-6 lead. Third quarter, Mike Wallace, 1-yard touchdown run, 20-13. And at this point, the Steelers had lost Casey Hampton and Brett Kiesel on top of the guys that were already out, like Ryan Clark, Marquise Pouncey. And the fact that Marquise Pouncey didn't play today really showed up. Then in the fourth quarter, Matt Prater, a 35-yard field goal, puts them within 10, or gives the Broncos a 10-point lead. And the Steelers come down and get a 37-yard field goal from Sean Sweetum. It is a 23-16 game. And then Big Ben. Me and Justin are not Steelers fans for sure, and we're definitely not Broncos fans either. So when I say this, just take it as it is. Big Ben might be a complete loser off the field, but there is no guy that I have more respect for in the NFL on the field. He's clutch. I think it's overrated sometimes how clutch he was. We know in the Seahawks Super Bowl he really did not play that well, but you gave him that ball and he took his team down the field and he got the job done. And with the horrible offensive line, he was clearly not in really playing shape. If this wasn't the playoffs, he probably would not have played. I don't know. It's Ben Roethlisberger, so you never know. And Jericho Cotchery makes a nice touchdown catch there. 23-23. The Steelers got it back. They had a chance to kick a 66-yard field goal, and essentially with Sean Sweetum, that would have been a waste of your time. And then in overtime, Demaryius Thomas, an 80-yard touchdown pass from Tim Tebow on the first play. It had to be John Elway putting on the chapstick on the sidelines before the overtime period began. And the Denver Broncos have advanced, and they will take on the New England Patriots 1 week from today. And I bring Justin in. Justin, give me your thoughts on this one, man.
This was amazing. Excuse me. This was an amazing game, guys, hands down. Due to the injuries, the Steelers tried to work around it. They did get a 6-point lead going into the second quarter, but it was all Denver in the second, like you've already recapped it. This offensive line, losing Marquise Pouncey, who has been a key figure to that offensive line, the rest of the guys did not play too well. Ben Roethlisberger got sacked 5 times, but he did find a way to actually pass the ball. He passed for 289 yards. Got a touchdown and an interception. He also kind of accurate. He was 22 for 40 in this game, and this offensive line was just having a down game. So they had to pick it up next year, guys. Marquise Pouncey will be good for next year. Another surprising guy who I thought was actually really, really good was Isaac Redman. Isaac Redman today was tremendous. His longest was a 32-yard run. He got 121 yards on the day. It was just a great game for Isaac Redman. He could possibly be the backup for next year behind Rashard Mendenhall. So you got to look out for that guy. Going over to the Denver Broncos now. Tim said that I'm obviously not a Broncos fan. Tim's obviously not a Broncos fan. I'm not a Steelers fan either. But we do have to give credit where credit is due, and Tim Tebow did light it up on that field today. No interceptions, 2 touchdowns, 316 yards today. This guy really ran with the ball. This was just the match of the week. Going into this game, I was talking some trash on my Facebook page saying the Broncos were not going to have a chance. My words were turned around, and obviously the Pittsburgh Steelers got schooled today, and it looks like the Steelers got to come in next week, or not next week, next year, and try to strengthen things up a bit.
Yeah, Tim Tebow, he didn't play great. 10 of 21 is not very great, And certainly he had some awful throws. I remember him throwing one over the guy's head to the receiver into the end zone that probably should have been a touchdown. I remember him, obviously, to give the Steelers the ball back with the chance to win in the fourth quarter. He missed a wide open wide receiver just because he had trouble setting his feet. But, I mean, we got to give the credit where credit's due, and the guy made some huge passes today, and yeah, most quarterbacks would have made those passes too, and then we would have given most of those quarterbacks credit, so I'm going to do the same thing for Tim Tebow. And the one thing I want to eliminate, and I've been saying this one for weeks, is when people say Tim Tebow, oh, he has all these below-average receivers. Demaryius Thomas was a first-round pick 2 years ago. He's struggled early, but he has been a pretty solid receiver. And 4 catches isn't great, but those 204 yards today tell me a little bit different. For obviously the winning touchdown, it was an incredible game. The Steelers, there's a lot of questions with the Steelers. I mean, Mike Tomlin's a great head coach. He'll obviously be back. Ben Roethlisberger will be back. I think that this might be it for Hines Ward. His production's really fallen off, and guys like Antonio Brown, Emmanuel Sanders have really stepped up in his place. Jericho Cotchery even. So I think that Hines Ward might call it quits after this. He had 0 catches and 0 yards and only 2 targets in this entire game today. So there's a lot of questions there. On the Broncos side, I can't give enough credit to the offensive coordinator. I mean, everyone's giving it to John Fox. Bottom line is John Fox is a defensive guy. I forget the offensive coordinator's name. It's something McCoy, I think. To arrange the offense that you have to beat a defense like this, it's really impressive. And the fact that I think he's got to get some consideration as a head coach somewhere for the type of job he's done. Now, I don't want to come off as one of these people who says Tim Tebow is going to be an elite quarterback or Tim Tebow is going to be a Hall of Famer, because he's sure as hell not going to be. But, I mean, I got to give credit where credit's due. And next week, if they could find a way to beat the Steelers this week, the Patriots defense, I know the first time they played them, it was not pretty, but the Patriots defense is pretty awful. Besides Gerard Mayo and Vince Wilfork, the Patriots defense is not very good, especially their secondary. If you can shut down Demaryius Thomas, that might be another story. But I don't think at any point, I didn't count the Broncos out this week because I knew of all the injuries to the Steelers, especially Big Ben, but I did not think that they really had a chance in this game, and obviously they did. I think also what you got to look at in this game is the fact that Willis McGahee could have basically sealed the deal. The Broncos were marching on the field, and Willis McGahee wasn't able to continue to score touchdowns. So it was just an incredible game. This is why the NFL playoffs, in most people's opinion, are the best, Justin.
Agreed, man. This is a very shaken up. This Denver team is facing a lot of adversity going into the I thought the Chargers could actually have a shot after losing that, but obviously it's not. The Broncos won this division. Going into New England next week, it's going to be Brady, Tebow too. It's going to be a very interesting battle. Let's see if Tebow can continue his Tebow time magic, which I'm still not overhyped on. It's going to be an interesting game next week.
Yeah, Tebow versus Tom Brady. I have a feeling. I mean, Ben Roethlisberger is one of the most clutch quarterbacks of all time. He is overrated in terms of how good he's been, although I think over the last 2 years he really has become one of the top 5 quarterbacks. But Tom Brady's one of the top 5 quarterbacks of all time. Some people think he's the best, so I have my questions about next week, whether they're going to be able to win this game. We'll have to see. Me, Justin, AC, KJ, whoever will be previewing that game. We'll preview all the other games, and we will continue to cover the NFL playoffs as they shake out. For now, I'm Tim. He's Justin. This is the Cash Kelly and AC Sports Report. Thank you for joining us. Follow us on Twitter at Cash Kelly and AC and Facebook.com/CashKellyandACSR. We'll see you guys later.